Pest infestation? Call Bugman, because when you see red, bugs are dead.
All right, we're back. We're going to do Roanoke College. Breaking down the Roanoke College Maroons. First season. I guess if you've been living under a rock, Roanoke College is going to have college football this fall. First time in a long time. If you've been paying attention to the news here the last couple of days, I am doing this podcast on the 17th of August, I believe Thursday. They sent a thing out to John Gruden, and he went through his box of goodies and plugged Roanoke College quite a bit. They sent some really nice things to him. If you would like to send those to me, I will take them. Please just contact me, and we'll talk more about Roanoke College throughout the year. No, in all honesty, so last year they played a JV schedule. They came back last year as a JV team. They had 4 games. They went 4-0. They'll be playing their home games over at Salem Stadium, where the high school plays. They'll be playing there. Looks like most of their games are on normal ODAC time, 2 p.m., 1 p.m. They have a noon game, but that's away. So what do we know? What do we know about Roanoke College Maroons? Well, we know Brian Steinspring is the head coach. He's the old assistant coach for Virginia Tech, offensive coordinator under Frank Beamer for a lot of years. I know he went to JMU as well. He's bounced around a little bit, but he's back. He seems excited. And I think it's the right person to start the program. You know, he knows people, and he's also getting the excitement out. The one thing I will tell, and this is probably to the fans as much as it is to the players. Hey, listen, players, if you want to play football, continue football, I guess I should say, Roanoke College is going to be a very good place for you. Let me just explain why. First of all, Salem is not going to let that program fail. I'm just going to tell you now, Salem, when I say Salem, the community, the people around Salem, they're just not going to let that fail. They do a really good job with all other sports. They do, obviously, the high school football at Salem is incredible. But they're not going to let that fail. So think about this. Even if you're not there this year, say you go next year, you basically have new equipment, new weight room, new practice pads and facilities. I mean, this is going to be first notch. In fact, I tried to get a couple of people to go there this year, truth be known. For whatever reason, they didn't. But on their visits, I have been told that the facilities were top notch. And we already know that Roanoke College facilities are in the top 25 nationwide anyway. But I mean, I had kids coming from D1 schools that were telling me that the facilities at Roanoke College were better than what they had at that current time. So if you're a student, there's no reason not to go there. You can stay home. You have you have support from your family. You have support from that community. And listen, if you're local, there's 17 local kids on that team this year. But the number one write-up from Roanoke Times or Channel 7 or Channel 10 is going to be the hometown hero stayed or the hometown hero came home to help Roanoke College, build something. It's already a built-in story, so all it has to be is the person. It just has to be you. In terms of fans, look, hey, go out and support this. Like, I didn't go last year because it was Sunday, first of all, and second of all, it's JV. I mean, it's hard. Division III football is good football, but I don't want to see it on Sunday afternoon when there's other things going on. So I did not go last year, truth be known, but I'll be out there sometime this year. So what else? What do we know? So they're going to be playing in the ODAC, right? We know Randolph-Macon is a perennial power. They win this thing every year. In fact, they're one of 4 programs that have made it to the Sweet 16 or round of 16 in the Division III playoffs the last 4 years. That's big time. In fact, a couple years ago, they had a chance to make it. They were in the semifinals to make it to the Stag Bowl that was back over there in Salem that year. So they're the 100-pound gorilla, if you will, in the conference, and everybody's chasing them. Let's see. They have. We'll start. We started with Stein Spring. Defensive coordinator has been in the league. He was with Bridgewater, so he's experienced. He knows those teams in and out. You know, he's been there for. He was at Bridgewater for 7 years. Offensive coordinator, same thing. He was at Bridgewater for a little bit, and then he was at Guilford. So you've got some experience there with who you're going to be playing, and they know the teams that they're going to be playing. So that helps. Like I said, 17 local kids. I believe Stein Spring said in his note the other day to John Gruden they had 105 kids out. That's incredible. It's going to take a little time. I would say that. I don't expect Roanoke College to be rolling in at number 2 or number 3 this year. I mean, they could surprise everybody and be there. I think it's going to be a little bit of a rebuild for them. I think they know that. That's why they're getting the excitement out now. And they'll keep that going. Blake Moore was the quarterback last year. He's returning. So he has some experience. And, I would say this. If you're going to go see a game, you might want to get them early because 3 of the first 4 games are at home. And then 3 of their last 4 are on the road. So November 6th, I believe, is their last home game. So you basically have a 2-month stretch where you can, September and October, where you're going to be able to see them at home. They do have 5 games. The ODAC media preseason poll is not out yet. I looked around last year; it came out on the 19th, so I would suspect you'll see it tomorrow or Tuesday. I'm going to go down their schedule, and then I'll kind of give you my little poll, preseason poll for the ODAC. They have in terms of their games. Their first game they play Virginia Lynchburg, and let's just say they've won 1 game in like 5 years. So if there's a chance to get a win, that's a chance. You can get one the first game. Greensboro College, don't know much against them. I would probably bet that's a good chance to get a win. Gaudet is going to be a little bit better, but they've been at the lower end of the ODAC, so there's an opportunity possibly to get a win. So, I mean, there's a good possibility to get, to come out of those first 3, 2-1, or maybe even 3-0. Then the King comes to town, Randolph-Macon, 4th game for them. Then they go to Bridgewater. That's a tough little 3-game stretch. They got Randolph-Macon, Bridgewater at Shenandoah, and then at Hampton-Sydney. But that is also the ODAC. I mean, there is usually Randolph-Macon and those other 4 teams are battling for second. They're fairly equal. Then they have Guilford. That may be a possibility for a win. They go to Washington and Lee, and then they go to Averett, their last game. So, I don't know. I think there's a chance to get maybe 2 to 4 wins first year in the ODAC. I mean, that's not bad. That's not terrible. You're not going 0-10. I don't know that you'll see much more than 3 or 4 wins. But, I think if him taking that job, they know that it's a little bit of a marathon rather than a sprint. So, my poll, this is my preseason poll. We'll see how good it is when it comes out next week. Obviously, I've got Randolph-Macon 1. I've got Washington and Lee 2. I've got Bridgewater 3. I've got Shenandoah 4. Shenandoah come in second last year, but they lost a lot. So I could see them taking a step back. Hampton-Sydney at 5. Now, Hampton-Sydney's, they're a team that's, there's some question marks around. There's a possibility they could jump up to 3 or 4. Averett, I have at 6. Gaudette, I have at 7. Guilford, I have at 8. And Roanoke, I have at 9. Now, this is not exact science. This is nowhere near like what we did on the others. In fact, it's hard to get all this information on Division III schools. But I'll just say this. If you're in and around and you're not doing anything and you like football, go see Roanoke College this year because I think it'll be fun. There was 10,000 fans last year for those games. So like I said, the community's not going to let it fail. The businesses over there are supporting it. I know there's tailgates. I know businesses that are having tailgates. So I would just say, hey, go give it a chance. It's local, it's 1 or 2 o'clock. So if you are looking at a game at 6 or 7 o'clock in the afternoon, or you're not going to a game, that might be fun. Be fun to go over and see. So we wish them luck. Hope Roanoke College does good this year. I hope they stay healthy and they can grow for next year. I know it's tough to hear growing for next year before this year even starts, but I think that's just the reality of what it is when you start a program sometimes. So I would say, hey, let's put a goal at 3 or 4 wins here, and if they surpass that, then they did a hell of a job, in my opinion. So with that said, that is pretty much all I have on Roanoke College, and we'll get you on the next podcast. Heathens Kettle Corn and Mobile Grill. You can find them at Dr. Pepper Park, local Roanoke events, and also now doing fundraising with teams, organizations, churches, etc. Find them on Facebook, Heathens Kettle Corn and Mobile Grill.